Welcome everybody, my name is Michael or Kubera, and yesterday we posted a video that was never public before on Kubera. We're going to be posting twice per week on Kubera and every single day on here. I also have a few more videos that I've never posted on Kubera. They were private. It's financials related, and a lot of people are actually comparing it to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I guess in a way you could make it out to be like Bitcoin. The Gamestop is the next Bitcoin. AMC is the next Bitcoin. Today we're going to discuss why you shouldn't invest into AMC or GME or any similar stocks. It's called a short squeeze, a lot of short seller manipulation. First, we're going to be discussing about long positions and short positions. What is shorting? What is going on with GameStop? Why did it just jump up so much, hundreds and hundreds of percentage within the past few weeks? So let us roll. There is actually no intro, so let's just get into it. So today we're going to explore GameStop, AMC, and similar stocks as short sellers are looking for what's called as a short squeeze. In basic definition for any investors and early investors, non-investors, short selling is when you are betting against a stock. So short selling is when you believe it will go negative. It will go down in price for that day, for that week, month, year, however long you're going for. And going long means you believe that the stock in the future will go up. You're betting on a longer position. You want it to go up in the future. That's your long-term plan. The Wall Street Journal is coming out with articles. The GameStop short squeeze shows an ugly side of the investing world. Short sellers are thick-skinned, but the nasty comments, insults, and threats leveled at them feel like political fights. Yeah, so hedge funds, billionaires. A lot of people are getting super offended from the financial world because you have two sides. You have the one side where they're coming from Wall Street and they're like, yeah, this shouldn't happen. And the other side where they're looking at basically memes, the subreddit Wall Street Bets, which is a meme in itself. And the average Joe, kind of like Robin Hood, he's taking money from the rich, where most of these hedge funds had millions, hundreds of millions of dollars betting against companies that they believe were on the brink of bankruptcy, such as AMC, which was actually very close to bankruptcy, but because of this massive short squeeze, which is atypical, and that's why we're hearing suddenly about it, where usually these situations don't happen, or if they do, they're on a much smaller scale that the institutions are just used to. It's stock manipulation. So we're not going to go into full details of everything because I don't recommend this. For anybody who's invested in cryptocurrency, don't sell your cryptocurrency because GameStop went up 1750% this month, because it already went up so far, and maybe it goes up to 2,000% even, but who cares? Because unless you already were invested in GameStop, it is a bubble. This is not sustainable. These are companies, look at Hertz, look at Kodak, look at other companies that went through similar situations where people wanted to make a quick buck. And this is basically a pump and dump. This is a huge squeeze where it goes up for a few days, a few weeks, even maybe a few months if it's a long game, right? But eventually a few people come out very rich. The hedge funds in this case, usually they're the winners, but that's why people are calling these Wall Street bet traders and meme lords Robin Hoods, because they're taking away billions of dollars from these hedge funds. So GameStop went up 1,750% this month, meaning that it has now over a $10 billion valuation, and it used to be trading at a few bucks. So a few people became very, very rich, multi-millionaires even. And if it continues, it just gets very risky. The higher it goes, the more risk that is being taken on by every single person purchasing this stock. Now, what's interesting, I got a Robinhood email telling me that due to the volatility in the markets, and I'm getting emails from a lot of these brokers and a lot of these websites that I'm signed up for, there's a lot of volatility this week and a lot of volatility this month, and we have to be careful and this and that. Robinhood is getting sued because they stopped trading. They actually sold. They forcefully sold people's positions in GameStop and AMC and other companies that are similar. And now people are looking for the next company. So there's another article here on Financial Times. The short squeeze spreads as day traders hunt the next GameStop. They're looking at Varta. They're looking at Evotech and CDPR, which is a Polish company. I actually went, we were passing by because I traveled to Warsaw today. We were passing by their headquarters. They gave me a refund back for Cyberpunk 2077. and they gave a lot of refunds out, and their stock's not doing too well because of what happened. Their game released last month. It had a lot of glitches. They're trying really hard. They made Witcher 3, which was an amazing game. Totally recommend. But people are looking for companies that maybe aren't bad companies. For example, there's a pharmaceutical company here and a battery maker, Varta, right? These aren't bad companies in of itself, and GameStop and all these companies were worth hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars before, but they're just going through a rough time. GameStop, it's part of, like, you would go for Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, you'd stand outside the store, and it's usually located in malls, and malls are a dying breed, and the digital gaming world is exploding, but not at the rate that GameStop's able to, get up there. And AMC movie theaters have really taken a fall, not just because of the pandemic, but a lot of these companies like cruise lines and airline companies, they had massive amounts of debt. So not only do you have massive amounts of debt, you have sometimes dying industries, and suddenly you have stock manipulation. So this is extremely risky. And to anybody who's comparing this to cryptocurrency and saying it's the next Bitcoin, it is where you get rich. Only a few people get rich. It is not stable at all. Bitcoin, I'm not saying it's the most stable thing in the world, but at least it has some value behind it, while this has no value behind it. The value was already where the companies were priced at before this started. Because if a company is, if there's hedge funds betting against it, of course, that's a manipulation of itself, because these companies have billions of dollars and they're trying to make some money from it. But in most of these cases, they're correct that these companies are going to go bankrupt. AMC was very close to bankruptcy, and they're avoiding it only because of a miracle, a short squeeze, but it's a miracle. It's something that's only going to last a short while, and then eventually these companies will go bankrupt. Unless something crazy happens, they change their business model completely. I don't see how GameStop and AMC and all these other companies, besides like CDPR, which they just had one bad game and it's going to get fixed over time with updates, I don't see how these companies are going to be able to recover in most cases. So GameStop, GME was going up even as much as 30, 50, 70% in a single day. So some people were very close to doubling their investment within just a few hours. Robinhood started forcefully selling, and people were very unhappy with that. So it was basically a bunch of people who had $50,000, $100,000. They realized what they were able to do. So let me tell you what short selling is in the first way. There's multiple definitions to short selling. Short selling is when an investor borrows shares and immediately sells them, hoping to buy them back later at a lower price, return them to the lender, and pocket the difference. All right, easy enough. Another one is covering, is when a person with a short position buys the shares to return them to the seller, hopefully to profit if the shares have gone down in price since they were shortened, or to limit losses if they went up after being shortened. All right. And a short squeeze is when a mass of investors looking to cover short positions start buying at the same time. The buying pushes the share price higher, making short investors accelerate their attempts to cover, which sends the shares spiraling higher in a feeding frenzy. The action in shares of GameStop, GME, and AMC Entertainment Holdings, AMC, have illustrated this phenomenon perfectly over the past week. Shares closed on January 27th for GameStop at $347.51, where the company is expected to show a loss for 2021 and a profit share of just $1.22 per share in calendar 2022. So there's a lot of debt, there's a lot of challenges facing for GameStop, and it's not good when the GameStop share price was just a few dollars beforehand. So pretty crazy that it's just ballooning out of nowhere. If you still don't understand, basically a short seller is betting against the stock, and they want to make money when the stock goes down. But if the stock goes up, then they lose money, and they're forced to buy their shares. So for example, if they are betting at 20 and the price goes up to $30, they lose $10. So instead of losing $40 or $50 or $100 because it continues to go up, they buy their shares. So at least they're only $10 in the hole. But if enough people, if enough short sellers and these large hedge funds, if they have enough large positions where they're forced to purchase this, and a few people are able to organize an attack where they force the price, even through manipulation, they keep buying these shares, they're trying to raise the price up, then enough short sellers suddenly have to buy stocks, and everybody's buying. It's a short squeeze. Since everybody's buying, that's when FOMO kicks in, fear of missing out, and the next investors want to purchase because they only see profit, and it won't end well. it won't end well. This may very well be the last few hours, the last few days, even without Robinhood's help, even without all of this. It's just a bubble. That's it. There's no actual value because these companies, unlike Bitcoin, they were actually destined to fail. They were doing great for however many years they were around, but the times are changing, technology is evolving, and if Bitcoin's still around here in 10, 20, 30 years, or if it's replaced by another altcoin as its number one, it's still going to be here. Bitcoin it might get replaced. It might be number two or number three. It might get knocked down, but 900 billion or $1 trillion isn't just going to get wiped off like that. While with GameStop, the company wasn't doing well already. The financials aren't great. There's a lot of things that point, this is only an inflated value because people only want to make a quick buck. That's the only value in it right now. The previous value of a few dollars per share, that's the real value. It's not saying that the company's completely valueless, but yeah. So some people were created billionaires. The GameStop CEO and two other individuals actually became billionaires on paper, but in order for them to sell their shares, I'm not sure how they'd be able to do it. So without crashing everything entirely, and I don't think they'd be able to sell their large positions without fast enough without doing so. And I think that would also be illegal, and the SEC would get involved. So the SEC is getting involved. They're looking, and Biden's government is trying to figure out if this is even legal. But honestly, the way I look at it, Wall Street bets, they're just playing the hedge funds at their own game. I don't think there's anything bad about it. I think it's just a normal pump and dump. If you ever watched Wolf of Wall Street, this is what Jordan Belfort would probably be like, yeah, let's do it. But for cryptocurrency, guys, don't care about this. Like, whatever. It's cool to look into. I mean, it's fun even because there's memes all over the place, but that's it. Don't invest your life savings. Some people have already done so, and it's going to end like Hertz or Kodak. So yeah, mark my words. All right, that's today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share if you're new to the channel, and we shall see you tomorrow. Bye.